Sleepovers just aren't what they used to be. A house full of screens, basically no hiccups. You guys have no idea how good you've got it.
Get internet on the Xfinity 10G network for $19.99 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract.
Back in my day, it was scary stories and flashlights.
We don't get scared.
Oh, really? Mom can see your search history. That's what I thought.
Introducing the next generation 10G network, only from Xfinity.
Dion Closo with Preps KC. We're here in the Preps KC studio, powered by Xfinity Internet. It speeds faster than a gig. You can power a house full of connected devices all at once. All right, we start our Suburban Blue Virtual Media Day, and we are with Excelsior Springs coach Mark Faubion. And coach, one of those years where you're not returning a lot of players and a lot of new faces, so there's going to be a lot of learning this year. But what do you like about the work that these kids have put in the summer to get ready for this season?
Yeah, totally true. We've got a lot of new kids, new faces. We graduated a ton of seniors that really played for 3 years, and these kids have always been kind of a role player, backups, injury, shoelace kind of when there's kids are getting in. So really this year we're trying just to find out what guys are going to come through when you're now the one, and find out who that is. That's one thing I've really liked about these kids. There's a lot of kids fighting for a spot. We've always been where we've been in a position to kind of understand where our twos are coming from. This year, our ones, it could be a number of guys. So it's a pretty good competition. It's going to take us through the jamboree to really figure out who those ones are.
Offensively, what do you see that you like?
We have some pretty good solid kids. I think our running back that's got a lot of time last year, Carson Jackson. We've kind of been looking forward to him getting to his junior year. He's a hard running kid. As much as we like to run the ball, we like to find ourselves a tailback. Carson really runs the ball hard. So we're really looking forward to him. We have a couple linemen that are coming along. We have one returner on offense, and with in our right guard. So we think that he's going to be our leader. He's going to have to coach a lot of kids up. We have some good kids that will be good. Just was pretty young with Justin Wright and Jake Bright. Those guys are going to come along and be pretty good, but they're going to have to have their feet to the fire a little bit. Our quarterback situation is, we're an option team. We're still going to try to do that, try to run the ball. Marquez McCant, and Marquez is a really, really good athlete. He's not the build of the quarterbacks we've had here in the past. So we're going to do some things to try to get his speed and his skill sets on the edge a little bit. More so than run the ball inside with him 30 times a game like we've done with QBs before. So we're going to try to leave that to the running backs and get him loose on the edge.
Defensively, is there a position group or some players that have really taken some big steps forwards for you this summer?
Yeah, Dawson Claypool, and he's going to be a tweener for us. He's going to be our fullback type, fullback H type of kid, and he's going to be our starting safety this year. He started a little bit last year, really came on after some injuries for us last year. Kind of a knack for the ball, willing to play the physical game. He's going to be really solid. We're going to bring Carson Jackson over from a tailback spot to an outside backer. I think we have we got some big kids up front. It's just going to be a matter of if we can find out if these guys are going to be durable and able to make it through, a full game with great competition on a consistent basis. We think they can. They're just, they're just going to have to go through that that fire of understanding what a full game looks like in our conference.
It sounds like it's going to be a learning and growing year at Excelsior Springs. Well, Coach, good luck, and we appreciate you taking time with us.
All right, appreciate you guys.
Dion Clisso with Preps KC from the Preps KC studio, powered by Xfinity Internet, the fastest internet with multi-gig speeds. All right, we move along here in our Suburban Blue virtual media day, and we go to Grandview, and we're going to talk with Grandview coach Dan Joyner. And Coach, last year, finding out about the team, that kind of things, 5-5, but you bring a lot of those players back. That's got to make you feel really good as you head into the season.
It really does. We felt like we took a step last year in the right direction. This year, we think up to now, we've even taken a bigger step. So it's been an amazing summer for us. Kind of our goal was every day, every week, we want to progress. So the ability to go back and evaluate and say, hey, here's where we start in the summer. Here's where we're currently at. It's been a huge step for us. We're really excited to keep that process going as we go through the season.
Offensively, what has been a bright spot for you this summer that's got you excited about the fall?
Starting off, the biggest thing would be this is the first time, and I think this is my 20th season, first time I've ever returned my entire starting offensive line. So that's really big as far as having guys that have 2 or 3 years experience as far as starters. So, offensively, that gel, that continuity that those guys have developed over time has really helped us out so far through the summer. And just, I'll say overall, as far as the whole team, just the work ethic and how kids show up every day and want to get after it. So overall, kids want to progress. They understand, hey, we want to get better today than we were yesterday. And we're not looking ahead. We're not looking at next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. We're at where our feet are planted, and we're working that day trying to get better.
If you return your whole offensive line, you can do just about anything as far as I'm concerned.
There's a lot of things, and being a head coach and coaching the offensive line, that kind of has some trouble sometimes. But this has been one of the first years I can send those guys with something, and they know exactly what I'm talking about. They can execute it, come back to me if there's a certain drill, and we're working 7-on-7, and I'll have them work on it, and they know exactly what the expectations are. And shoot, they probably know it better than I do by now. So,
defensively, what do you like on that side?
I think just our athleticism and the physicality we're playing at. We got a lot of kids that are playing very confident right now. A lot of kids that understand the system. Coach has done a great job progressing them through. I would say just the confidence they're playing at and the execution. To be out there to practice and kind of lingering around on both sides as far as the head coach, and to see those guys communicating, talking, and making adjustments and all that stuff. It's been a pleasure to see so far this summer.
Culture-wise, just having that offseason has got to be just that much more of what you guys did last year.
Sure. And then, that's a big thing. Anytime you take over a program and stuff, you want to establish, what your norms are, what your expectations are. And with us coming in, after year 2 to year 3, the expectations, kids know exactly what it is. This is what we do. This is how we are. This is how we roll. This is how we practice. And to start getting some of that student-led leadership to where before is always coach-led, but now when you have a senior class that this is all they know for 3 years and this is who we are, and to have them be able to trickle that down, whether it be in the locker room, the weight room, or on the field, it's been a pleasure this summer.
How much is the community kind of figuring out that you guys are getting a little bit better each time? And they always say football is the front porch, and that's one of those things. I know Grandview's a good community, no doubt, and they're ready for good football.
I can't tell you how excited you can feel it in the air when you're going out and you're wearing a shirt. People are excited about it. The Grandview community has been nothing but supportive. It's been amazing to me, my family, my children. I have a son that's on the team also. But anything I've ever needed, any support I've ever needed, they've stepped up. You go back to even the first year, we established team meals. We would feed the kids 3 or 4 times a week. And currently at that time, we didn't have much funding. And the Grandview community stepped up, whether it be churches, other people to help donate their time, facilities. And that was huge for us getting that established that first year.
That's one of those things people don't think about. That little thing right there can be a huge difference for, not just 1 or 2 kids, but for a lot of kids, and really ties them to football, ties them to the community, and ties them to the school. And I know that there's a lot of kids out there that if they didn't have football, they may not even be in school.
Sure, 100%. And, I think people understand that. I think we understand that as far as coaches goes. So like I said, we try to help back and give back to them as much as we possibly can through, we do certain activities where we go out and we donate back to the community because we know how much they've helped us. And we try to return that favor back to them as much as we possibly can.
Well, Coach, it should be a fantastic season. Good luck, and we appreciate you taking time with us.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate it.
Dion Closo with Preps KC. We're here in the Preps KC studio, powered by Xfinity Internet. Count on a reliable connection for all your devices, even when everyone is online. As we move through the Suburban Blue Virtual Media Day, and we are joined by Kearney coach Logan Minnick. And Coach, fantastic season last year. I don't know if I'd have talked to you at the beginning of the season, you thought it would start off like that.
Right.
You guys had huge win after huge win and got on a big roll with largely a pretty young team. You bring a lot of starters back. I'm assuming it was a pretty excited offseason weights and doing stuff, and I'm assuming this summer's been pretty motivated and ready to go. You're probably ready to get back out and play some games, aren't you?
Yeah, we've been ready to go for a while now. Obviously, we've got a really good group back. I think a lot of people do forget, though, that we lost, 3 kids that are going on to play Division I athletics with Zach Grace out at Oregon and Carter Schmidt at Indiana State, and then Luke Nolan chose to go to Nebraska and run track. So anytime, in Class 4, you lose 3 kids that are Division I athletes, you've definitely got some big shoes to fill there. But we are definitely excited about the group we had back. They won a lot of football games. We definitely had a sour taste in our mouth from the one there at the end. So that's definitely fueled our off season. So we're looking forward to it because we do have a good group back, and it'll be year 2 in the system. So we're looking forward to see how it shakes out.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It's year 2 in the system. You didn't have to go through some of the stuff you did last year. Just, housekeeping really is not necessarily like bad things, just housekeeping, getting things put in that right direction. Offensively, is there a position group that's really taken a big step forward for you this summer?
Yeah, we've really, because where we did graduate kids on offense, we lost a few seniors up front. So we've really been working hard with that group, trying to get, back, because obviously we've got both tailbacks and both receivers and the quarterback back. So that's been really nice with that group, on the just being able to, add 2 little wrinkles to things we already had in. And as you mentioned, just the being able to do more polishing up of stuff and getting better at it than actually just trying to get everything in an off season. So our kids have done a really good job with that, and I'm really excited for the kids that are going to step into some starting roles.
Defensively, is there one thing that stands out to you right now?
Yeah, I think some teams will be impressed. Obviously, with Luke Nolan and Joe Marshall and some of those guys we had as seniors last year that were all state track kids. I actually think we will be faster on defense this year than we were last. We've got some really good pieces. We've got some really good pieces back, and our kids have done a phenomenal job with our strength conditioning and agility stuff throughout the summer. Like, we timed 40s on Monday, this first day, and everybody kept calling me Santa Claus. They're like, "Oh, you're giving away good times." I'm the last one. I would rather you run the slowest 40 than, build confidence that way. But we were pretty excited about some of the numbers we tested out at to start the year.
Well, there's never a lack of community sport in Kearney. That's a given. But there was a couple 500 years in there, and so I think I know that Kearney, came out for you guys last year. How exciting is it coming off a good year going in to this year, knowing that you're going to be playing in front of packed stadiums and ready to go right off the bat?
For sure. I think, as I said last year, the expectations are now we're not going to surprise anybody. We're not going to sneak up on anyone. We're trying to get Kearney back to, where it was and where it needs to continue to be. So there's definitely, I've noticed in town now, I can't hide anywhere, anything like that. So I've got plenty of people letting me know what we should and shouldn't be doing out there. So, if I can just pick the right advice from the right people, I think we'll be fine.
Well, being paid attention to is never a bad thing. It's when they stop paying attention to you. That's when you know,
Right.
that's when you know you're in trouble. Well, Coach, good luck this season, and we appreciate you taking time with us.
All right. Thank you very much.
Dion Closo with Preps KC here in the Preps KC studio, powered by Xfinity Internet, now with up to 5 to 10 time faster upload speeds. As we move through the Suburban Blue Virtual Media Day, we move on to Raytown South and bring in Coach William Harrison. Coach, big year for you guys last year. You get your first win at Raytown South as a head coach and ended a streak for those kids that had been there that hadn't won a game in a while. You get more than one win. I mean, you get a couple wins in there, a few wins in there, and those kids that were playing as sophomores were juniors. Now this group is seniors. It's your third year there. That's kind of the year you start to see things turn around in new programs, if they're going to turn around, is that year 3. How do you feel about how this group has grown from last year to this year, and what have they shown you this summer?
We've had a really good summer. We've done a lot of things. I think we talk about that transition from year 1, year 2 to year 3. It's easier. Practice is easier. Kids understand the expectations. Our weight room participation, our weight room activity has been awesome. So, I mean, I'm really excited about this year 3, about the possibilities that we can achieve and what we can accomplish if we stay healthy and, everything clicks for us. So, I mean, you can see the progress in our program, and I'm really excited about where we are.
How many seniors do you have this year?
I met with them last night. I believe it's like 21 right now.
Oh, wow. That's a good number.
So we've got a good group of seniors this year.
And are you getting good numbers in your lower classes as well?
Yeah, we are. I don't know how other coaches have answered that question or how they would answer that question, but that our junior class is a smaller class because that was the first class coming out of COVID and kids getting back into the building. But our numbers at our sophomore level and our freshman level are really good right now.
Well, that's a great thing. Tell me, offensively, what have you seen that's got you really excited about this fall?
We lost 3 offensive linemen last year. And so that was kind of a question mark coming into the summer. And we had some pieces that we thought could be really good for us, and some other pieces that we weren't counting on have really done a really good job this summer. So I'm excited about what we have up front. I'm excited about the depth we have on our O-line and the way they've played this summer. Also, I think wide receiver wise, we've got a really solid receiving core too.
Defensively, you bring a lot of people back, and I know that's your side of the ball. So that's when you've got a lot of, you're telling me you could have 8, 9 seniors on that defense starting. How much as a coach, when you got that kind of senior knowledge and leadership over there, what does that allow you to do as a coach that you're not maybe doing with young, stuff you don't have to think about with younger kids?
It allows me as a coach to kind of go into my brain and just pull out stuff and kind of make up things. It gives you a little leeway to try to come up with different ways of getting those guys involved that's not traditional, because they understand the defense, they understand the base defense that we're running. So it gives us a lot of tools and a lot of options to move guys around because they understand where they need to fit. So, I mean, it's a really cool thing, and it doesn't happen very often because usually it doesn't happen like this. And if it does happen like this, you take advantage of opportunity to kind of be a mad scientist a little bit defensive.
Is that group really kind of looking around each other this summer knowing, hey, we got a chance to really be a huge part of what we do here?
Yeah, I think so. I think we've had some, we matched up in a few scrimmages in the summertime, and after each one, I think we gained a little confidence, and those guys looked around like, all right, like, man, like, we pretty salty. So, we can kind of go out there and relax and play ball because we're a really good defense. So we've got high expectations for them, and I think they share those expectations because they know what we have out there.
As it's starting to feel in the community, I know that, I remember back when it's been a long time, not a long time, but when you got your home stadium before you came back, that kind of helped the community a lot. And now that you had a solid season last year, you're bringing a lot of people back. I'm sure there's a lot of talk around the building and around town about Raytown South football.
There is. I mean, it's been a few down years, but I think people are starting to see the progress what we made. And I think, it's really cool to see the parents see the change in their kids. And you have those conversations with the parents and just seeing how their kids are different in the school building or their bodies have changed. I mean, principal comes up and says, man, these guys walk around with the chest out. And so I think it started in our building, but I think our community, once we start winning games and we start having success, then they're going to understand, like, okay, it's back to where it was.
Well, Coach, it should be a fantastic season. Good luck, and we appreciate you taking time with us.
All right, thank you, always.
Dion Clisso with Preps KC here in the Preps KC studio, powered by Xfinity Internet. With speeds faster than a gig, you can power a house full of connected devices all at once. And as we move through the Suburban Blue Virtual Media Day, we're joined by new Ruskin coach Tim Callahan. And if that name sounds familiar to you, it should. He has done what a lot of coaches can do. You finished up your time on the Kansas side, you retired over there, and now you're over at Ruskin. You're taking over William Perkins, who did a great job there the last 8 years, and he's moved into assistant principal role. How exciting is it for you to step across the state line, new school district, all new kids, to kind of change things up and start not from scratch, but to start in a new spot that you haven't been before?
It's exciting. I probably needed a change. I mean, I think when you've been somewhere for 20 years, you make enemies. Things go the way they go, and start coaching kids, and I need a change. And Ruskin's a great place. I'm just finding out how much of a hidden gem it is.
Mm-hmm.
And Coach Perkins did a great job. And it's not like these kids didn't know football, so it's just a little different football than what they've been doing. But that's what I know, and the coaches that I kept are doing a good job buying into it, and the coaches I bought into it. So it's just it's an exciting time. It's rejuvenating.
Well, I know Coach Perkins, he took over at a time when I think they're on about their 4th or 5th head coach in about 4 or 5 years. He kind of established that. And like you said, the kids are really, bought in because they get that kind of sense that what had been done before. What have you seen this summer? And now we've played a couple days of camp. And what have you seen that's really got you excited? That, especially because you've probably seen a ton of growth out of them because you've changed some things in the summer and now they're probably starting to get it.
Probably the biggest thing I get out of it is they just keep coming back. They come back every day. And, we were going to 6 o'clock in the morning, which I haven't done 6 o'clock in the morning for years. And for kids to show up and parents to buy in and get them there. And, it was just refreshing to see the excitement for kids to get there. And, they would have done football every day if we could do it. But Missouri had, so we couldn't. But they showed up every day to work out and do what they needed to do. And same thing for camp. We've had great practices and great spirit and great efforts. So it's just been a pleasure to go out, and got a little hot, so we had to get a little bit of a attitude adjustment. But other than that, it's been pretty good.
Offensively, what are you bringing with you?
We're gonna run a lot of what we did at Shawnee Mission West, which a lot of people are like, oh, really? But we're just going to get back to getting off the ball and, getting downhill. I think we got some really talented kids that can move the ball. We'll be able to push it downfield and, get some quick strikes. But, offensive, we're going to put it back on the ground and establish a run game first and, be disciplined in our run game.
Defensively, what do you like and what are you guys going to look like?
We're going to be a little more. We're trying to. I think our secondary's really got all the experience, so we're really working on that. That front six and getting those guys to be disciplined in their gaps. And I like the speed that we have. We've got some big guys, but some guys that can move, and we got some smaller guys that can run. And we're just going to be a team that's going to get after you and try to swarm to the ball and again try to control the run. We want to stop the run first because I think our guys over the top will be able to take care of that stuff.
Well, you like you said, you were one place for a long time. You were at Lathan North for a long time as an assistant as well. And does it really just kind of just getting on, putting on a different color. You still got a little yellow in there, I see, but putting on a different color and doing stuff. Is that just got your juices flowing?
Well, let's get it straight. It's not yellow. It's gold.
Gold.
No yellow in us here, Eddie. You know, yeah, it's a little different, but you know, I've always liked blue. I think I bleed black and gold, but I got a little gold in me still, so I think I'll still be bleeding that. But yeah, it's again, getting the coaches to buy in. The coaches have been magnificent. They've just busted their butts trying to figure out what we're doing and kind of learn on the run too, and just buying into it. And that's all you can ask. And the kids have done the same.
Well, Coach, it should be a fantastic season. Good luck. And I appreciate you taking time with us.
Hey, appreciate you. Thanks for all you do.
Dion Closo with Preps KC here in the Preps KC studio, powered by Xfinity Internet. It speeds faster than a gig. You can power a house full of connected devices all at once. And we are moving along here in our virtual media days in the Suburban Blue Conference. And we are joined by Smithville coach Jason Ambroson. And Coach, good talking with you again as always. You know, we get to do this several times throughout the year, it seems like. Yeah. But you know, coming off of, you know, not your ultimate goal, but another good year playing deep, playing into November. Graduated a bunch of good seniors, but probably I'm assuming you got another good group ready to step in. That's kind of been the way Smithville's been playing football the last few years.
Yeah, we do. You know what, a year ago off the state championship team, we brought back 8 of 22 starters, had a very successful season last year. You know, probably could have finished the way we wanted it to. We should have, and we didn't. And that's, you know, that obviously is one that kind of sticks in your stomach for a while. At the same time, had great kids that left, but we got a bunch of great kids that and we're bringing back 7 of 22 starters, but we got a bunch of kids who played every game on the JV and had a very good season, and out of 69 letter winners last year. So a lot of kids with experience, a lot of kids that practiced late in the year. You know, the last 4 years we've been playing pretty late, so they got a whole nother season under their belt. So we're excited for them to get a chance to show what they can do.
Offensively, what do you like what you've seen this summer?
I like our skill guys. I'll be honest. I like our balance. Yeah, we bring back 4 offensive linemen, or I mean 1 offensive lineman and 4 new guys. But those 4 new guys, you know, we graduated a guy that was 6 foot tall and 195 pounds and replaced him with a 6'5" guy that's 240. We've got some kids that have grown up a little bit and are bigger than we've ever been, and they've worked really hard to get there. And so I really like what we've done up front with I would call it a maybe not as experienced a group, but we did the same thing last year. We started 5 new offensive linemen last year, and we're starting 4 this year, and we had a pretty good group. So I think we do a good job with those guys. I really like our skill positions. I think that that from a speed standpoint, from an athletic standpoint, those guys have shown up, and we've got 2 guys that have started for 2 years in there as well. With Jet Max, and then quarterback, we had a guy who's been a really, really good football player for 3 years and was a starter. And we've got a young man who sat behind him who could have probably started on a lot of teams we played. And I'm excited for him, Jake Schaefer, to get a chance to show what he can do, because last year we just moved him to receiver and let him play and get involved. And so now he's getting back at playing quarterback, and he can spin it a little bit. So I'm excited to see how that works.
What do you like about your defense?
Just their tenacity. They're big up front, and their effort is really good. I love their effort and athleticism at every level. And the thing that I really enjoy about them is that we've got great leadership up front and great effort. We've got great leadership and effort in the middle, and we've got 3 starters back in the secondary, 2.5 guys that played and rotated in quite a bit. And so that's where we've kind of hung our hat the last few years. We've been really good on defense, and we've been consistent and disciplined on offense. And we've done a lot of things offensively and really spread the ball around in the past. And I don't think that's going to be anything different. I don't think our philosophy is going to change. I'm just happy that the kids that we have an opportunity to show how hard they worked, because they really have.
Well, you guys have just been one of the best programs in the state the last 5-6 years, and it should be another great year. And I know the people in Smithville love their football, so you're probably just ready to get out there and get out in front of the fans again on Friday night, aren't you?
We are, we got a lot of work to do. I mean, we still got a lot of new faces, and that's the fun part of it, is that, and I've been blessed to coach with great people. I've got a phenomenal coaching staff. I have support with the people that we do, but our kids are amazing. I mean, how hard they work in the weight room and how disciplined they are with being good kids. I tell people all the time how proud I am of my kids. I had a recruiting sheet that I sent out, which we don't have. Nobody from Smithville gets recruited. All the athletes are everywhere else around us, apparently. But we had 30 kids that I put on a list that had a desire to play college football out of 4 classes. And of those 30 kids, I only have 1 kid that has under a 3.25 GPA. And so the way that they participate in the weight room, the way that they do things for me, they're really good football players and even better kids. And I'm just blessed to be their coach.
Coach, it should be a fantastic season. Good luck, and we appreciate you taking time with us.
Thanks, Dion. Appreciate all you do. Have fun. Look forward to seeing you, man.
Dion Clisso with Preps KC here in the Preps KC studio, powered by Xfinity Internet. Now with up to 5 to 10 times faster upload speeds. And we are finishing out the Suburban Blue Virtual Media Day. And as we do it alphabetically, we come to Winnetonka and Coach John Crutcher. And Coach, going into your second year there at Winnetonka, and I know the first year was kind of tough, a lot of growing pains. But we were talking before, you really like this group that kind of came through that, committed in the offseason in the summer, and they're really making some strides this summer.
Absolutely. We went through the growing pains last year, getting hired so late and things like that, trying to throw everything together, trying to get everything changed at once. And it just didn't work. But what we've kind of built going through the season last year, we built a little nucleus of kids that we could depend on, that have bought in. And that's kind of multiplied just what we've done in the off season, in the weight room, some of our morning works and things like that. And then it kind of trickled over into the summer where it's multiplied even more. And we got a good group of kids. We got a good young group. We got a small senior class. I think we're going to end up having 14, 15 kids. But those 14, 15 kids will be on the field almost every snap. And like I said, we got 2 bigger classes behind that as well. So,
well, and those 14, 15 kids that we talked about before, you really have a group that's bought in. I'm assuming those guys are great leaders for the younger guys.
They have been, and kind of, they've been with me for a year now, and kind of know the expectations and how we want to do things. And they've taken it upon themselves to that group of freshmen, because we separated them last year. We didn't bring them together, and we kind of kept it as 2 programs. And they've kind of come in and kind of taught the kids, that's not how we do this. This is the way we do it. We still have some knuckleheads here and there that we have to remind, hey, that's not how we do this. But they've done a tremendous job. But we've also spent time and invested in that part of it, of coaching our kids up in character lessons and things like that, how to be a leader. Because it's not just, well, I'm a leader. No, now, us as coaches, we have to teach the kids how to be a leader and how to talk to their teammates.
Yeah.
They can argue, and that's one of the biggest things I want to talk about. We like to argue with each other and yell at each other instead of uplifting each other.
Well, tell me this, what do you like about your offense this year?
Like I said, last year we were really good up front. This year, we lost 3 of those kids up front, really 4 of those kids up front. I like that we're returning most of our wide receivers. We lost Jonathan Merwin and our running back, but we've had kids under that. We are pretty fast, and they're a year into the system now, and they know what we're going to do and know how we're going to do it. I just like our experience there, and I like our competitiveness there.
Defensively, you bring a decent amount of starters back. That has to make you feel pretty good. I know if the defense side is your side. What do those guys bring back?
A lot of experience and a lot of knowledge. So last year we weren't able to get everything into the package, just because we still had to continue to teach the fundamentals and kind of the base package. But now we're able to elaborate on that and get into all the fun things, the zone blitzes, the pressures, the shifts, the movements, the disguises that we couldn't get into last year. That year of experience, because we're returning basically the whole back end and two inside linebackers. Just that fact that they've all played 9-10 games already, and they've got the experience, know how we want to do it, and can have fun with it, where it's not just teaching. Now, hey, let's go have fun. Hey, if they do this, we can do this. And those kids are being able to pick up on it faster and faster.
Well, tell me this, is this group chomping to get to, at least the Jamboree and see somebody different? Or they still need a few days to kind of get ready for that?
No, because we kind of changed it up. We actually went away for camp this year. Usually, you've been at Winnetonka, you can't go to a team camp and things like that. We took the kids up to Benedictine for a day. We spent the night up there. We got away, just trying to get that #1 mentality, one mind, one heart, one team. Get away from parents, get away from wives, get away from kids. We went up there. We went to Excelsior Springs and competed, and then we also brought a couple teams in later on. So we've seen different people over the summer, but we're excited, because we kind of finished the summer off just us. And then you go these next 5, 6, 7 days where you hit each other. Well, I think they're getting ready to hit somebody else.
Yeah, no doubt. Well,
get some payback now.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, it should be a fantastic season. Good luck, and we appreciate you taking time with us.
Absolutely, Dion. Thanks for everything you do.